Death of Ubuntu, Part 1. Let me first elucidate on what empathy means, at least to me. Simply put, our ability to put ourselves into the shoes of others. But it goes further than that. It enjoins one to take action that seeks to make amends and pacify those in society that may have suffered through acts of nature or acts perpetrated by individuals or group of individuals. My input will be underscored by the above understanding of what empathy is, as distinguished from sympathy. There is so much suffering in country South Africa. Daily we come across troubled souls, helpless people who suffer the vagaries of inequality, poverty, and injustice. We undoubtedly have some family members who are in typically similar situations I have described. What is our response to their situations of helplessness, suffering, and pain? Do we immediately look for reasons to blame their suffering on their inertia, past mistakes, race, or religion? Does that give us some sense of relief that we at least didn't cause their unfortunate circumstances? Do we throw a coin or two in their direction without even looking them in the eye? Do we record ourselves taking action to relieve them and post on social media? Do we genuinely place ourselves psychologically and emotionally in the situation they are in, even if we offer no immediate relief? I'm deliberately presenting these in question form because I have seen and heard responses by those in very fortunate positions in life that were deprived of empathy. While empathy can be seen to be more an individualistic phenomenon, I think for it to serve as a catalyst for social cohesion and nation building, it needs to coalesce at a group level where we as a people start to experience these empathetic feelings towards one another, so as to come up with such courses of action that can ameliorate the suffering of others, which in turn can reduce resentment and crime by the poor majority. It is my humble submission that lack of empathy in today's world will continue to create irreconcilable differences between and amongst people, and we will continue to struggle to create egalitarian societies in the world, let alone here in South Africa. We have always touted Ubuntu as a distinguishing factor in our African body politic. Do I still believe it exists today? I doubt very much yes, maybe as an exception to the rule. Dog-eat-dog situation has taken over. Femicide, rapes, child murders, and rapes have become the order of the day. Ubuntu encapsulated empathy, which means we have lost it, as evidenced by what we do to one another. There are a number of things that have gone wrong and have resulted in us as a people being self-centered and looking after our own. Our communities used straddle, a life between being subsistence farmers and factory workers. There was more to go around and take care of each other. Our political freedom has also come at a cost of losing some of the aspects that I feel we still needed to build a caring society. Learned solidarity has been replaced by scarcity mentality, where the focus is on me and me alone and not the community. What possibly forced us to be in solidarity with each other was the oppression that we collectively felt at the hands of the apartheid government. That vanished with the freedom we got after 1994. We have become a nation of greedy people whose focus is individualistic survival, and to hell with anyone else. The desire to make it and be better in life by any means possible is what rules us. That, unfortunately, has resulted in the vanishing of Ubuntu, characterized by being empathetic and sympathetic to fellow human beings. The challenges brought about by rampant corruption by government officials and private businesses have also contributed to our people being poorer than they have been under apartheid. I am not in any way saying apartheid was good for our people, but it forced solidarity and empathy amongst our people. Oppressed people club together and find ways that will ensure collective survival. That is what happens throughout the world. There is a tendency to want to adopt methods and lifestyles of the oppressor by previously oppressed people because they possibly envied such. Big fancy houses, fancy cars, fancy clothes, and fancy lifestyles. We work ourselves to death to achieve these things, and we have frightening fear and anxiety to lose them. We even get sick from stress and mental depression in our quest to mimic and unconsciously show that we can match the standards and lifestyles of the oppressor that we envied for so long. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying having wealth, living large, and being able to afford nice things is bad. Unfortunately, such pursuits have resulted in the death of other important communal attributes needed for nation building. That is why now you find people who seek quicker ways to wealth and fame, no matter the costs of their endeavors. I do not have to go far, as we have plenty of examples to illustrate what I am talking about from numerous video clips on social media depicting the same. There are many examples. In the townships where we come from and in rural areas, it's the same thing. Being wealthy, or at least having lots of money and being famous, has become our preoccupation. I don't know what kind of society we are building and what it is going to be. If you look at some of the social ills we are facing now, the above aspects I have mentioned are contributing. Whether it's gender-based violence, rapes, murders, human trafficking, violent crime, slay queen, or blesser culture, all are a result of us having forgotten the critical aspects that brought us together as a nation. There is death of Ubuntu, characterized by empathy and sympathy. Frankly, I don't know if we can ever bring it back. I think it's gone forever.